For this trip, we were headed up for an overnight trip. It was us, a Jeep Cherokee, and a Porsche Cayenne. And the plan was to hit the upper end of the Morrison Jeep Trail as an out and back because the switchbacks are all closed right now due to washouts. And we were going to have a lunch stop before backing off this trail and camping somewhere else for the night. The trail in really was not too bad on the Dodge at all. We were having a pretty good time hitting some of the big rocks and going through the water crossings, but things did go sideways for us pretty abruptly, only about 4 miles into this one. When we got to this rock garden, I had Hallie spot me through it because the boulders were sizable and I don't have skids on the Dodge. But the Porsche was having a really hard time getting up it even with a spotter. It just didn't have enough articulation to effectively put the power down and get up these rocks. We did end up trying to winch it after something like 5 or 6 attempts, but its winch was not getting power for whatever reason, so we ended up having to turn around the Dodge to use my winch to pull it up.
Something going on. Seriously? Okay, so what we might need to do then is get you a few feet of line out, see if we can't just disconnect it from there, take the load off, and then use another winch to pull you up off of your line since you don't have a point.
In one of the attempts to winch the Porsche up the rock garden, it did sound like something broke on it. We investigated a little bit. The CV joints all looked and felt okay. So we assumed it was either front drive shaft or the front differential. It was only getting power to one of the rear wheels after this point, so we started making a plan to get it winched up to the same spot I had just used to turn around so we could get everyone turned around and head back to the pavement and assess whether or not camping was still on for the night and whether or not it would be able to make it back down the hill. While winching the Porsche to our turnaround spot, the snatch block we had rigged up pulled a dead tree down right onto the Dodge. It was right next to the live trees we had anchored to, and we thought it would be able to handle the little bit of side load we were putting on it while anchoring to the live trees. after we had the Porsche off the trail, we decided to turn around and that I would lead the way out. That way I could tow the Porsche over some of the bigger obstacles, as it was still only getting one wheel power. The ride out was pretty uneventful, and we decided once we hit the trailhead that between the weather and the damages, we'd still camp, but we'd go down the mountain and camp in a developed campground instead of on the trail.
Camping plans changed a little. I'm a little ashamed of myself that I failed to prevent that. Not my best moment, but I also think that tree was coming down kind of regardless of what we did. I don't know. It was a learning moment, teachable moment. All right, so as you can see, we did a little damage on our yesterday's adventure. So now the question is, how much of that can I salvage? I think my two options I'm looking at are either to get rid of all of that light bar and just weld some tabs onto the roof rack for mounting lights, or I can take it all off and make a new center bar and try to reuse the side mounts. And if I reuse the side mounts, I'd have to take those off and put them in the vise and try to bend them straight again. So we'll see. I also have a dent in the driver's kind of A-pillar there where the door meets the windshield, so I'll need to pound that out, try to get that kind of straight again. So, on to it. Past Jake is a freaking genius. 2 plugs and the whole thing comes off. I'm so smart. I'm so smart sometimes.
I'm so glad.
Look at 2 plugs in the whole. Beautiful. I'm such a genius.